Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to a Penny's Game Room.
Right. Today I'm going to start restoring this one, which is the Megadrive 2, which is extremely grotty and horrible and nasty, and yeah. I've actually sorted some things out what I'm going to use. I've got some isopropyl alcohol, I've got a microfiber cloth, I've got an anti-static brush, some cotton buds and a toothbrush, which the missus got me from Tesco for £1. Right, now I've also got this, which is basically just a case with loads of compartments in it, and that's just to hold all the screws so they don't get mixed up. Now, get out the trusty toolkit. Now, okay, where's the screwdriver? As you'll notice on the back, we have 4 screws. There's one here, there's one just here, and then there's one just here. So what we do is we start by taking these out. Just loosen them all off first. I'm hoping the board isn't going to be too bad inside, because judging from the outside it's a bit grimy. Let me just shake all the screws out like that, and we have 4 little black screws which we store in one of the compartments on a little screw holder. Right, now the lid should just pop off, assuming it's not glued. God, that lid's horrible. Now, on the inside you can see the cartridge slot. That's held down by 3 screws. That will be coming off as well. God, there's a bloody leaf in there, what the hell? Maybe you can see that. There's a leaf, part of a leaf. God. Right. That's the top part for now. Now, on the shielding, I think it's 8 screws we have on here. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the shielding screws out. I'm going to put them in a different compartment. To be honest, the board doesn't look too bad really, but I won't know until I get all the shielding off. Can't get that screw up. Can't get my fingers in because I've got chewy fingers, so I'm going to use my special little grabber tool. I think that'll actually show up on the camera for grabbing screws. And there we go. It's grabbed the screw for me. One of the problems with having fat fingers, it's hard to get your fingers in certain places, and I can't get my fingers in there either, so there we go. Brilliant little tool. if you've got big fingers like me and you can't get your fingers in anywhere. Let's get the rest of these out. One thing I would say is, if you're going to attempt this yourself, be very careful with the shielding, because this stuff is razor sharp. Finger in there. And it will have a finger off if you're not careful. Right, this is the last one, and there's no way I'm getting my fingers in that either. There we go. Right, now the shielding should just lift out. Come on. I've missed a screw. God damn it. Now, as I said, be careful with the shielding because it's really sharp, but that's going to get a wash down in the sink with a bit of soapy water and a brush down, and bastard. Yeah, as I said, be careful. Put a split on my finger there. It's bloody sharp stuff. Now we'll put that to one side and we'll have a look at the motherboard. Right, to be honest, it's not that bad. I was expecting this to be an absolute disgusting mess, but it's not. It's actually quite tidy. There's not much dust on it, to be honest. Really, there's a little bit around the switch there, but other than that, it's fairly clean. Very surprised about that. Well, yeah, right. Now, for taking out the motherboard, there's two screws. There's one there on that side of the cartridge slot, and then one there on the other side. So what we need to do is just undo these two, put these in a different compartment because these are different screws again. There we go. And now we should be able to lift the board out from the back to the front, and what we do is just give it a little jiggle just to get the joystick port out like that. Yeah, it's actually, the board itself isn't too bad. And we still have the cover there and the expansion port as well. But this one looks like it's going to be fairly easy to clean, and I'm not going to have to soak it in the bath. Just looks like this needs a bit of compressed air and some of the parts going over with the isopropyl, and it should be alright. I'm quite happy with that. Right, now I've got a little placemat here which I'm going to put the board on, so I don't want to put it on that tablecloth because it will stick. Now we have the bottom shielding, which just pops out like that, and there's the cartridge holder. That's what your screws bolt down through the board onto that, and that just basically goes on the top. It has little pegs, so when you put it back on you don't need to, it will realign and clip in place for you for when you put everything back together. Right, and now we have the base, and that's not too bad either. on the inside. It's actually fairly clean. And we've got the expansion port there, which I'm going to pull off and clean as well. That just pulls out and like that. That's going to get a good soak as well in the sink. Just give it a soapy wash. Now, let's put that over there. The last part, which is back to the lid, what we do is we take out the 3 screws from the cartridge holder and put them in a different slot in our tidy box thing to keep everything separate so we know what we're doing. Now, I wouldn't normally use something like that because I do have a very good memory, but for the benefit of this, I thought I'd show you a proper way of actually doing it, keeping the screws separate so you don't lose them. And there we have the cartridge slot. It's actually, and now it's gone from there. Oh God, there's bits of dust going everywhere. Excuse me, I'm going to need a drink of my tea. Oh. Oh, bloody hell. Now, on this assembly, you can see we have 2 springs which hold the cartridge slots for the tension springs to spring it back up. Now, I'm going to be taking them out. If you've not done this before, I'd highly recommend leaving it alone and just soaking it, because that spring there and that spring there are a complete pain to get back in. Extremely annoying, it's fiddly, and if you've ever done this before, you'll probably agree with me, it's probably not worth it if you've never done it before. But there's the 2 springs, there's one at the top there, there's one at the bottom just there, and I'm basically going to be taking this apart and taking these flaps out to clean them properly. To be honest, the bottom side is actually fairly clean. Bit of compressed air to clean that up, but the top side is god awful gammy. If you can see that, it's disgusting. If it wasn't that bad, I probably wouldn't bother taking it apart. But yeah, it's coming apart and it's being cleaned. Dust everywhere. Right. Now, obviously I'm not going to film me washing shielding and bits and pieces, because it's going to take a while. But what I'll do is I'll split the video up into 2 halves. I'll get these in the sink. Oh, that's something else as well. For taking, if you can see the buttons on the front, which I forgot to mention, you've got clips on either side, push that, which basically hold the buttons in, and all you do is just give it a quick push on either side like that. Same with that one. I want it a bit stiff. There we go. And then just use your screwdriver and give them a quick tap like that, and the buttons come straight through. And that way, when we wash it, any grime or grit or whatever that's stuck in there is going to come out. there's also this bit here which just pulls out, which is part of the LEDs. All it does is the light shines straight up through it and lights up. But we'll clean that separately as well. I think that's about as far as it goes as disassembling. It's fairly straightforward. The Megadrive one is slightly different, as you'll see when I strip that one down and give that one a good clean. But for now, all the plastic bits are going to say hello to the sink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with warm soapy water, not hot, just warm. And then I'm going to go over it with this, which is a microfiber cloth. And then for any stubborn parts, obviously we've got the trusty old toothbrush. The places like in there where it's not going to get and things, and all around there where it's absolutely disgusting at the top, so it's not very nice. And that's just going to be warm soapy water. I'm actually using bubble bath because it's very good for cleaning stuff. It's not too abrasive either. It's soft because it's meant for your skin, so it's very good for cleaning these. And the same with the back as well. I'll be using the toothbrush to clean out the grills at the back. Make sure there's nothing stuck in there, which there probably could be, but I don't know. Anyway, let's have another quick look at the board. Now it's actually out. You've got your joystick ports at the front there, and then if we go around to the back, we have the power and the S-video. Now I don't have a lead for either of these two, so after I've done the restoration completely, I'm going to have to get hold of an adapter and a cable to test it, and then see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then we'll be doing a repair video. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. There doesn't appear to be any dry joints and things. Just having a quick glance, but I will have a proper look later. What I'll actually do though is pull that off so you can see the expansion port. That's the expansion port on the bottom here, and that's where your CD32 CD thing plugs in. And there we go. Like, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's actually not too bad. Doesn't seem to be any corrosion around the power plug, so I think we're off to a good start. It might actually be working, and it does have a date on this one. Let's have a look. 25th, is that? No, 29th of August. Is that 1999, I think? My eyesight's not too good, which is why I wear glasses. So that'll actually zoom in to that. And the cartridge slot, the way I'm going to be cleaning that is, I have a piece of white cotton cloth, and I'm going to be putting the isopropyl on it so it's damp. Then I'll wrap it around a credit card, and we'll just basically push the credit card in and out of the slot to get all the grime off it, which should clean it up nicely. None of the capacitors look like they've popped at all, which is good. So we might have a working Megadrive here for £1, which which is pretty good because that means I can have one upstairs and one downstairs. So I can never be without my Megadrive games, because the Megadrive is my favourite console. I prefer it over the SNES. I do have a SNES and some games and things for it, but not many. I have Super Mario World, Street Fighter 2, which was bloody expensive, and it came in a big metal tin with a keyring and all sorts of things, and Star Fox as well. And I'll probably do a video on that as well, showing everybody what it is and what's inside it. But for now, I've got some dishes to wash. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.